We teach girls to shrink themselves, to make themselves smaller. We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much. You should aim to be successful, but not too successful, otherwise you will threaten the man. We teach girls that they cannot be sexual beings in the way that boys are. Feminist, a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes.
Since the 19th century, movements reaching for women's rights began to rise. The first one being held in New York City, Seneca Falls, 1848. The suppressed in turn and support encouraged more groups to sit down and discuss the issues on unequalness between men and women. Fast forward to the 21st century, a great number of noticeable changes has been seen. It's actually a sad and slow development, but it feels like society is actually starting to accept the fact that there is more to women than just being a housewife.
She's praying to a God who won't talk back. Her faith is dying, it is a sign she's going off track. She's praying to a God who won't talk back, won't talk back. Down on her knees, said praying to a God who won't talk back. Hey, hey.
So my first question was, do you think that the modern society has accepted that there is more to women than just being a housewife?
Yeah.
I think it did. Well, first of all, it depends on what society.
So let me say, me too, having a background where women are not being seen the same as men, and me having different experiences than in Europe. I can notice the difference here. I can see the difference. I can notice that they are somehow accepted, or I don't know.
So if we're talking about Germany or Western Europe in general, I think that the perception of women is actually quite equal to a man in terms of possibility and responsibilities and opportunities. But
we have to face the reality, and it is that women are not seen the same. And I can say that even here you can just start from the fact that we do the same work, men and women, and men are paid more.
When we're talking about the rest of the world, and especially more conservative countries, we see that gender roles are still quite strong, and the role of a woman to be this kind of a feminine, homey person, a caretaker of children, is still very present. So in that sense, I would say no. So it really does depend on the country and in the political situation there, also on the traditions.
Gender roles are believed to have begun as an agreement that was made a very long time ago. In a way that men had the responsibility to hand, protect and provide for their families, whilst women could then take care of the children and the household. Times have changed now. Women too can provide for the family, so the terms of partnership are too changing.
Still here. So, and we are doing the same thing. This actually, I can just say that this might come from the idea that man before has done hard work, has worked harder than women, but now it's not the same time. So we are not in the same position. Now we are doing the same things.
That does not go without saying that women still face a huge challenge. For example, being the only gender that can birth children, they face a pressure when it comes to choosing between career and family.
I think the most uplifting thing that I've seen so far is the fact that women finally have their voices heard and that they got empowered, and you can see in this very predominantly male positions strong women. Also in terms of job specificities, let's say the IT sector, it was predominantly male. It's still viewed as that till today, but I can see that the society is trying to include more and more women, so that's quite a good change from my point of view.
When I used to live in Italy, actually, I have never seen girls, Muslim girls, which are covered, to work to work like outside in supermarkets or to work somewhere. And first, when I came here, and we do not speak about Albania, but I'm just comparing now Italy with Germany. When I came here, the first thing that impressed me was this, for example, and I was like, okay, and this is not just for actually for women, but this is more into accepting a belief or accepting something, but mostly because they were women.
Okay, now that we've gotten the overview of this discussion, that only leaves us with a simple question such as, are men and women equal? I personally don't think there's a statement that covers this question fully, but it does bring up many aspects in which we could all have a conversation about.
Actually, all these ideas for me are just ideas implanted into our minds to make us believe and think that we are different. And it's not just in between now men and women, but it's in general. For me, there isn't a man or a woman, there isn't someone from one place or another, from an Italian or an Albanian or a German. No, this is just an idea to make us believe that we are different and someone should be better than the other.
I do think that they're equal intellectually in terms of capacity to change the world, yes. But in terms of physicality and biological differences, of course, women do look differently than men, therefore also their physical capacity is different from men. But I still do believe that in terms of physical strength, we still can see women who are bodybuilders, women who are like competing on an equal level with men. So it really depends on how much you want to do something, so regardless of your gender. But yeah.
Is men and women equal? Yes, they are equal, so they are the same. And then they have physical, they have difference in their physicality or emotionally, like everyone. We are different, you know. But for me, it's something that we just have to accept it, and it's like this. We are the same.
The norms and cultural portraits of a society vary from place to place. The lack of acknowledgement in terms of gender roles has been noticeable in the trove of history, but things are changing in the modern world. In terms of how women are still viewed today, how would you describe a woman's place in society in your country in comparison to Germany?
The way how women are treated or seen in Albania and here, or how free we are to express ourselves, how free we are to just go out, walk, and just be ourselves, or wear whatever we want to wear and walk how we want to. It's quite different. So in the streets in Albania, and I would say that it's not just in Albania, but like talking and having conversation with girls also around and other places, it's almost the same. In some countries you have like these men who just stare at you, look at you, they speak, they say different words, and this somehow the feeling that you get from it, it's like okay, should I go out today or not? Or it's like, what will I expect today from people around, or what should I wear, or wear this or not? So this is one of the big change, because here you are almost, because there are even here, but almost free to just be you, to just express yourself, and yeah, so this freedom of just being you.
So Yemen is generally so different from Germany, and especially when it comes to gender roles. I think Germany is quite open society, and gender roles are close to being abolished. I think like women and men are quite equal here in terms of how, like, even taking care of the children is always shared, or working, or doing the house chores. But in Yemen, it's still quite traditional, and the man has his own responsibilities that differ from a woman. So a man is still this kind of a figure who's providing for the household. Meanwhile, the woman is expected to take care of the kids, like cook. Even she can work, but she is still expected to do all this, you know, housewifey stuff. So in that sense, I think my country is quite different from Germany, and unfortunately not in the best way when it comes to gender roles. But I hope that changes someday.